Alright, I've got my laptop over here, so hopefully you guys can, I can see the comments and stuff like that and reply. But never done a live stream. Hopefully my coffee slurping isn't too noisy for you guys. Welcome to my messy house. Looks a bit different to the YouTube studio downstairs. Maybe we'll wait a little bit and see what you guys have if you guys have any questions to begin with. It's a fair amount of delay from what I'm seeing to what's on the YouTube stream, so I don't know what's up with that. So this session is an engagement shoot that I had the other day that I thought I'd run through first because I'm still, so this is all the images, I haven't culled it or anything. I've got a bunch of weddings to edit still, but I need to cull them and everything. But it's kind of the same thing, I guess. These guys came over from Canada. Don't know where you guys are watching from, but it's about 9 o'clock in the morning here on Monday in New Zealand. So maybe I'll just start running through these first, and if you guys have any questions, I'll keep looking over at my other laptop. If you can see this stuff in the photos, that's the little copper tube I have. I think it's in my car, but actually I got an Amazon package which just turned up, and I think it's something to do with photography, so maybe we'll open that up. Oh yeah, here we go. Look at that. Got myself a prism off Amazon. That's pretty cool. There's stuff all over my house. Wow, that's awesome. Actual glass even. Maybe we'll do a video with this. I think I have an engagement shoot tomorrow. I'll take the prism out. Anyway, yeah, these shots were with the copper tube, so you can see that's, I'll put the description up so you can see as well. So I only, with this engagement shoot, I just took two lenses. So I had the 24mm G Master, and I had my Canon 45mm tilt shift. Which I don't even know where it, oh here it is. On the big rig here, the Canon tilt shift. I usually only take one lens with engagement shoots, so I usually only take the 24mm or a 35, but I was going to take the 35 with this one, but I really love the 24, so I just went back to that. But yeah, the first photos were just sort of like getting a feel for it. And I've been working on some other presets, but I'm not real happy with them yet. maybe I'll stick to one that I have that I know you guys have. So if I reset that. Not the most flattering angle. So these ones, so that was the original, and then I just took all of this stuff out in Photoshop because it sucks in Lightroom, the tool. So then I took it to this one. Anybody got any questions about anything so far? We got 27 watches. J Mez, should I wait for an A7 IV or just buy the A7 III? It's a good question, man. I'm thinking the A7 IV is going to be pretty epic, but I haven't heard any details yet. If you guys didn't know already, I've mentioned it in quite a few videos, but I am a Sony digital imaging advocate here in New Zealand, so we get to play with stuff before it comes out and all that kind of stuff, but I haven't even heard anything about the A7 IV or anything. And yeah, I'm actually leaving the program probably. I don't think I'm going to renew anything. The reason I'm an advocate instead of an ambassador also is because ambassadors, you have to kind of say, like, you can't really say anything bad about any of the products. You can't really test any other products, whereas advocate, I can still kind of do whatever I want, and I felt that was pretty important, you know, for my YouTube channel. And you know, I just don't get paid or anything from Sony or free gear or anything like that, so you know, that's fine. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be even more, like, all my reviews are honest and all that, but I feel like it's going to be more credible for you guys if I'm not affiliated with Sony at all. So I'm probably going to get out of that. But yeah, A7 IV, A7 III, man. The problems I have with the A7 III is mostly like the screen and the viewfinder is really bad. And other than that, like, the ergonomics could be better, like the A7R IV, which will obviously transfer over. I'd probably give it a little bit, like I'd probably wait a month or two and just see what happens with the A7 IV, because I think it's going to be released pretty soon. If you're in a hurry, the A7 III is fine, but if you can afford the R3, I'd probably take that over the A7 III. Joshua, just wanted you to know my wife and I recently bought your presets. They're perfect. Oh, that's cool, man. That's awesome. Lots of you guys have been buying the presets. I didn't really expect that, but they took me a long time to develop, and they kind of work really well over all sort of situations, which is nice. But yeah, Alex Ange, what did you hold exactly in front of the camera? That's the I don't know if you can see it because there's a bit of a delay from on my end. It's a prism, like a glass prism from Amazon. I'll make a YouTube video on it, but you can like hold it in front of the lens and get really cool effects and like reflections and stuff like that. Could you play some music in the back? I I probably could, but I don't know if YouTube's gonna like copyright strike me. Maybe you play some music at your house. These these presets are for Adobe specifically. Yeah, they're for Adobe Lightroom and Photoshop. When you buy them, you get both versions. I've been trying to make them for Capture One, but they're really hard to translate, and I don't really like Capture One. It really annoys me. So at the moment, it's just sticking with Lightroom. Dawa, where can I purchase your presets? They're all in the description. If you have a look in the description of this video, actually the live video, it's in there. Yeah. Anyway, let's edit some photos, eh? I'll keep an eye on the questions, so keep going for it. I didn't make this video so I can sell you guys presets, but I do appreciate it. It's a really good way I can support the channel. Like, I do make money from YouTube, but it's not a whole lot. Like, I'm definitely not doing it for money, you know, like I make a lot more from weddings. So, you know. Usually with engagement shoots, I don't bother culling first. Like, I'll just go through everything, and I'll go through everything and edit while I go. Whereas a wedding, I'll cull first. Terrible photo. These guys just wanted to go to the beach, but there's this real cool waterfall that I've shot at before, so I took them down there just to check it out. More questions. Which presets do you recommend for engagement shoot? The one I usually use is CTM3, the universal one. But it depends on the situation. Like, that one is like, that's why I called it universal, because it pretty much works with everything. Otherwise, if you saw my last editing video, I was using CTM5, the muted split one. But yeah, the main thing is to use them for all. Like, you just want to use one preset for the whole shoot, really. Jay saying about the Apple products, I agree. I used to use PC. I was never Mac. This Mac Pro is my first one. I've always been PC, but Final Cut works so much better for editing videos. It's so much smoother and faster. So that's why I switched to Mac, really. But I'd rather be on PC, if I'm being honest. This is the tilt shift one. It's really hard to use when people are moving, though. Like, impossible. But yeah, like I said, I usually just get a few warm-up shots first when I'm going for a walk. And, you know, then I find it takes me like a good 10 minutes to kind of warm up. I don't know why, but that's how I roll. This is the waterfall. I've already edited one there. quick tip, if you're using Lightroom, if you close this histogram thing when you're skipping through, it speeds things up heaps for some reason. A friend of mine, Aaron Radford, told me that. This with the tilt shift again. I have quite a bit of grain added on this, so it's real sharp without it on there, but I don't know, I really like grain. It's just personal preference. Copy the settings just to keep everything consistent. It was really hard to get the white balance accurate in here, eh? I think I might skip through to the beach ones. These guys are really playful. Real fun couple. It's the tilt shift again. Has a real weird flare on it. It's before and after, so. Blowing out up there a little bit. And I got that copper tube back out. You guys gotta let me know what you think about that film preset. It's a little bit hard to get your finger out of them when you're holding it. These I was trying to tilt shift and use the copper tube, which is a little bit challenging. This one I cropped to 16:9 and brought the shadows right up. I think I got the head, so it's kind of cool. So I got flare from the tilt shift and the thing. Everest NZ saying Canon colours are richer and more intense than my A7R III, including the review on the screen. I have noticed a lot of people have the setting, like your profile, when you go into camera profile and creative style, a lot of people have it in neutral. I just have mine in standard with the contrast on neutral and everything. But I don't know, I mean, the end result is what matters, so if you prefer your Canon more, then shoot your Canon, you know. But yeah. There's another one there. I'm just looking up at the cliffs. Here I kind of like the shadows that they were making. So I just done the same, cloned all the people out, so it looks like they're the only ones on the beach. I'll quite often burst a lot when I'm doing shots like this as well, like these moving ones, because of expressions. Like that shot, you're not going to use it because of the expression she has on her face, but the next one is fine. So a lot of them, when you see all these shots like here, it's because, you know, when people are talking and walking, it can be difficult to get a natural look, you know, like in between someone's speech. So these presets were, I've been shooting a little bit of film lately. So I have like a whole bunch of film that I've been trying, and I've been shooting it in the same situations and then trying to match it in digital to get a little bit of that look. It's been an interesting process. So this is one of the new ones. I'll probably be adding this one to the pack, or like maybe a cheap add-on or something like that you guys can get. Jason, hey man, enjoying the channel, thanks. Here I just got them to walk alongside the stream because I kind of like the reflections. Maybe clone that out, it's a little bit annoying. Now I'm going to town. You guys think I should leave the surfers in this photo or take them out? Lightroom is so stupid sometimes. See, I should have got him to take his phone out of his pocket as well. I didn't notice that till now. Amateur hour. These ones, they were just kind of walking towards the rocks and the shadow was real dark. I kind of liked how it just sort of moved up. You can see here, maybe if I run through all the presets. So that one, CTM1, that was the first preset I ever brought out. This was the one I was using a while ago and everybody wanted it. And then Punchy it's kind of the same, but it looks quite different in different situations. So I go to this one and do the soft one, and then if I change it to Punchy, you can't really tell. It changes the greens a lot. Maybe skip to a photo, you'll be able to see more. Yeah, it's a little bit different. Then Universal was the one that I kind of changed my style a little bit, and I was using it all last season. Yeah, I don't know, it's just personal preference really. Harsh Sunlight was just a softer one that brings the highlights down a touch, and the tone curve is a little bit different to keep detail in the whites as well. And then Muted Split was the real moody one. It works in these situations, but you have to warm it up. But if you go to something like this, the muted one will work real well. Like that. It just has a kind of cool split tone feel to it. Like that, before and after. And then the mild one was kind of a warm one. They were made for kind of different situations. I actually named them all for the areas that I was shooting. So I think the mild one, I was using that preset down in Queenstown in the South Island because everything just looked different. So I made it for that. The names are kind of stupid, really. I need to rename them. Dance floor, like that was obviously for the dance floor. And then the black and white presets. And then, yeah, like if I go to the universal one here, which is what I'd usually use, and then change it to the film one I've been working on, it's quite different. J, am I still enjoying that compression software? Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm using it for everything now. So I'm using dot photon raw for that. And I just compress all my ARW files to DNG, and the files are going from about 44, 42 megabytes each to about 17, 18, and you don't lose any quality at all, which is pretty amazing, really. Yeah, and I am shooting in compressed in camera as well. You can shoot uncompressed. I'm using 128 gig cards now, but honestly, the difference, I can't. The only real areas where I could find the difference between shooting in camera compressed to uncompressed was like real low light situations, and sometimes when you bring, like if you underexpose something by like 5 stops, if you bring it up all the way, then it would be a little bit less noisier on the uncompressed one and maybe a little bit less banding or something. But the difference is so minor, you really just got to try it for yourself. Like everybody has different standards that they want to stick to, so you know. Jason, I know you use mostly the 24G master. Would I consider the 14 to 28 2.8 Sigma for similar shooting? No. I'd never use that for this kind of stuff. I mean, you could, there's no reason you can't. But I'd always be at 24mm anyway, and it's quite heavy. And I just way prefer 1.4. Like if you're looking at all these images up here, I'm pretty much at 1.4 the whole time for all of this stuff, and it's super sharp. It has a little bit of chromatic aberration, but it's really sharp. Yeah, I just prefer primes. Like it's a personal preference. Like just because I'm doing it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do, but it's what I like, so it's what I do. These ones, if you guys have seen some of my other videos, I went and got them to practice their first dance. It's something I do pretty often, even though they've only been engaged for a week. They got engaged here in New Zealand, so. But yeah, Steve was pretty funny with all that kind of stuff, so he was into it. A lot of bursting with this kind of stuff as well, like I said, for those getting the right facial expressions and movements and stuff like that. We're pretty lucky with digital photography, really. Like you can kind of you know, when you're doing lots of fast moving stuff, you can kind of burst shots off and pick one. You don't want to be going too crazy, but I used to do a lot more black and white than I do now. Don't know why. I think I pretty much stopped shooting black and white film, so it's probably got something to do with it. These ones I just, same kind of thing, but I got real low to the water with the screen tilted out. Let's skip through to the rocks and I'll come back to these. Just back on the tilt shift. Don't know why it says Sam. Oh, that'll be the Samyang. No, it's not even Samyang. The adapter. I'm not sure why it says SAM. The Canon's got pretty bad distortion. What's my preferred method of delivering files to your clients? I use PixieSet. I use PixieSet for everything. I think it's just pixieset.com. It looks real nice. I deliver full res raw files from up to that, and then they can download it. They can make favorite lists, and then makes it easier for like printing and stuff like that as well. But yeah, PixieSet for everything. Good little tongue out there. More tilt shift stuff. This shot, when I was making this film preset, it lined up pretty closely actually to the actual film, which was cool, but it is pretty hard to match it. This is the reason I shoot quite a bit under as well. Like if you have a look at this, all this detail is like right on the edge of being blown out, and this is real dark, but you can bring it up easy with this kind of camera. If I turn the grain off so you can see better, there's no noise there or anything, so it's just the way I shoot. But yeah, it's really nice shooting under and being able to get a real nice dynamic range across the whole image. I haven't had a look at pick time. I mean, I'm just looking at the live video on YouTube. The colors look way different to what I'm seeing on my screen. Not sure why. Maybe it's the bit rate or something. This would be a good one to show you guys. So they're real bright. If we straighten it up and then go to the CTM3 universal preset, still kind of blowing out, but it looks a lot better than if it was like this whole thing was kind of blowing. So yeah, this is the one I usually use, and then this is that film one that I've been working on to compare it. I also use, talking about software, I use Studio Ninja to manage everything, like all my invoicing and contracts and everything like that all goes through Studio Ninja. The only thing I don't recommend using is the contact form. There's been so many bugs with it, and it's just too unreliable. I think people have missed out on inquiries and stuff like that just because of the contact form not working and people not getting emails and just a whole bunch of different stuff. So I probably wouldn't use that, but the actual Studio Ninja software is awesome. And then here I just got some photos of them hanging out, admiring the scenery. I like the look of that, so we can copy that settings and take it over. Those ones I was just trying to get the waves to look good, how I liked it. Tried some tilt shift action again. Then I just got them to sit down and chill out together for a little bit. Derek, what brand color calibration tool do you use? I don't use one with the iMac. I probably should. I have a Color Monkey Spider, I think it's called, which I use with my PC, but it was a little bit temperamental. I think the Spider one, or maybe Color Monkey Spider is a different brand, I'm not sure. I know the Spider one is supposed to be really good, but I have a Canon Pro XS printer downstairs, and everything I edit on here on my iMac Pro, so I have the 8-core iMac Pro. If I print straight from this to the printer without any calibration, they come out really super accurate, so I think the monitor's pretty good. The other thing is with screen calibration, like your clients are all looking at them on different screens. Like if they're looking at your photos on a Samsung S10 versus an iPhone, the colors are going to look completely different, so it's all kind of irrelevant really. Like I think as long as you have a good screen and they're coming out, you know, pretty close to what you're printing, then it's fine. Like you don't want anything too crazy, and especially if you have a higher end screen like the iMac Pro, or my big LG screen I had was really amazing, that the 38-inch ultra wide 4K monitor, that was really accurate. But yeah, you just have to be careful with colors and calibration and stuff. But I think if I was doing like landscape photography, or I guess it's not really a good excuse, but you should calibrate probably. But yeah, I don't think the iMac Pro needs calibration unless you want to be like crazy accurate. I could probably do a printing video soon. Maybe edit some videos and edit some photos and then go downstairs and print them, and I can show you guys how accurate they are. Here I was just trying it. This rock here is kind of iconic for this beach, so I was trying to use the tilt shift to get them both in focus, which is quite difficult. I think I got this one, which is kind of close. That's pretty much the same shot, but with the 24mm. Derek again with printing versus going through a local print studio. Honestly, I haven't used my Canon Pro 10 in so long because it's just such a pain to go through the whole process. I really enjoy it for my personal stuff, like if I was going to go out and do some landscape photography or street photography or photos of my kids or something, I'd like to edit those and print them and have them on the wall. But the thing is, I use Queensberry for printing, and like all I need to do is upload the files, put the customer's address in, they print them, send them direct, and I literally have to do nothing. So when I'm doing 45-ish weddings a year, you know, it's just too much. It's too much to maintain when I'm printing my own stuff and like having to pack them and then go to the post office and courier them out. It's just too much effort. And Queensberry are really cheap. I mean, not really cheap. They're higher end printing, but the price, it probably still works out cheaper going through Queensberry, I think. So I really reserve my Canon Pro 10S printer for just personal stuff, and you know. But yeah, it's interesting. If I throw up the compare, you can see the difference between 45 and 24mm. Don't know if that's interesting. Jay saying, like the promo video I did in my friend's garage. Yeah, that was pretty cool. It's a cool car. We're doing some more with that car. There was more to that actual video, but when we went to do the second part, we were going to go for a drive, and then he wanted to do a big burnout in it. So we found this place to go to, and we asked permission for this big concrete pad, and they were all good. So we were going to go out there and do some big burnouts and make some cool cinematic videos with it. But when the very first one we tried to do it, we started it and blew the gearbox up like straight away. It's all fixed now, so we'll go out and do that, but that's performance car life for you. Just getting a ring shot. She was a bit worried about that cut on her hand, so always take that out. Yeah, 24 doesn't really have much distortion. I mean, it has perspective distortion, but this shot, if you guys seen this shot on Instagram, this is a mix of these two. So I actually did this when I was shooting it. I saw them coming along, and then I took this shot out of focus on purpose because I had this in mind. I used to do double exposures a lot with my X100 when I had that, my Fuji. So I took both of those and then just combined them in Photoshop to this, just with like an overlay layer, and that was it. It was really fast. So something a little interesting for you. There's before and after with that one. Again, shooting dark because I know that I can bring the shadows right up and maintain all that detail in the cloud, so you get a real nice tonal looking image, you know. And then the sunset just like was glowing after that. So you can see also when I'm running through these, I kind of pick a preset that works for the situation and use it for the whole shoot, because I don't want things looking inconsistent. So it's really the only reason why I've been making this new film on, because I want something that matches up so I can shoot a little bit more film and match it up together. but it's not like it's going to replace the universal one. So if you already have the universal preset, so that's it there. It's not like you have to, you don't have to buy the new ones when they come out. You'll be fine just with what you've got already. These ones, I just got them to sit down, not this photo obviously, but I just got them to sit down in the sand, and I just tell them to talk to each other and be close, and just kind of have a chat about today and how it was and everything, and then I'll just move around them and see what I like. So you can see with the 24mm, as long as you're level, if you're shooting level like that, not shooting down or up or sideways, you don't really get distortion. Like, it doesn't look like a wide angle lens. But if you shoot real close and put like heads in the corner of the frame or anything like that, you want to be centered with a wide angle lens like this. That's why I say in all my reviews with like 24 versus 35 and stuff, it's difficult to get used to it. You kind of have to learn how to use a 24mm. But I kind of like the effect. Sunset was so pink. I like those kind of shots with the tilt shift as well, just kind of like zeroing in on stuff. Oh, I screwed that up. There we go. Get rid of that spot on her handout. Jay's asking about the presets again. Yeah, they're really easy to install. You just go up here to presets and click import, and then you can bring in the files that you downloaded. It's pretty easy. I used to use, when I first started weddings, like a long time ago, when presets started to get popular, I started using them. Like, I was using the LXC ones for ages. I think everybody was. It was like a time where everything was like orange skin and all kinds of like horrible colors. And then that's when I kind of started developing my own. But it took so long, so hard to make presets, like to get skin tones right and keep like dress colors accurate and stuff. Like a lot of presets you can buy. Like, I've had a lot of feedback from people telling me you can buy a lot of presets that will make skin tones really nice, but you'll change, it'll change dress colors and stuff, and people hate that. Like, I've had comments before, like years ago in the past when I was using other presets, that people, like when you shoot a wedding and you're buying all these dresses, they want the dresses to look like the colors they were. So because skin is orange, it matches like a red dress or an orange dress or anything like that. So you don't want to be changing colors. So that was the hardest thing for me. A lot of it's in the calibration here, like just these little differences can make, these differences in the green and red primaries can make a real difference to skin tone. Like if I change that, see, it changes the reds and the everything, like, and that's the green one. Same with the red. So it makes skin kind of like orangey or pink. But if you change it too much, you can see the dress just changes dramatically. So it's like a real fine balance. And then the rest is in obviously HSL and tone curve, but definitely have a play. Maybe I'll edit one now from scratch without a preset, so you can see my kind of process. So usually I'd get the exposure kind of right, and then I'll go to tone curve, and I'll usually bring that down. It's like a less traditional tone curve. It's going to look really harsh at the moment, but we'll fix it up. You'll kind of get a more filmy tone when your S curve is like this, because of the way film rolls off. Let me just fix the white balance up. And then I'll bring the highlights down to match. Shadows up a little bit, but not too much. Bring the blacks down. And then always go between before and after. And then we can go HSL and use this little thing here to click, and you can change the saturation of individual colors. So we go about there. Hue looks alright to me. So there, that's just with this here, that tone curve, and those HSL changes, and that's it from before and after. So I mean, but if I go and copy all these settings and put them on another photo, like if we go down here, they probably won't work. It still looks alright, but you know, it's a lot of adjustments. And when you're looking at greens and stuff like that as well, like getting everything right. See that green, that yellow there, I can see is kind of a weird greeny off color. See, that's a bit too contrasty. But yeah, that'll be the basics anyways. Like the tone curve is really important, just getting that nice curve. Again, it's personal preference. Like if you don't like that, just do whatever. If you bring this down, that makes the highlights a little bit softer. If you look up here, just drag that top point down, and that can soften things out, but you don't want to bring it down too much because you can start losing cloud detail. So if we go back to one of the other ones, and I'll edit another one from scratch. This one, maybe reset that. Am I using V1 or V2 more? If you're talking about my preset packs, I use V2 more now. A lot of people like V1 more, but it's like I said, it's personal preference. But yeah, I definitely use V2 more. So see, if I put that tone curve on there now, it's going to be like real contrasty. So you got to bring down the shadow, the highlights, bring up the shadows. So just from before and after to that, warm it up a little bit. Whites. See, if I bring that down now, if you have a look at the sky, it's going to soften everything a touch. About there. If you want to change the sky color, you can drag it like that. But again, you don't want to change it too much. You have to balance it out to make sure suits. A lot of people have blue suits, and you'll find they don't. That if you have a preset that changes the sky to that kind of turquoisey color, it's going to change the suit as well. So it's a fine balance. Probably add a little bit of grain. So there you go, that's an edit from scratch, before, after. Adnan, I'm not sure if that's how I say your name, sorry, but when do you know if an image is too bright or has too much contrast? I mean, it's really personal preference, but you don't want stuff blowing out, really. Like if you look at the histogram, this is pretty even. But it can be personal taste totally, like whether you like it real punchy, see that's way too much. Like skin will start falling apart and stuff like that. But yeah, the main thing is keeping it consistent. Like you don't want, I've seen a lot of websites when I'm like critiquing other people's websites, a lot of them will have heaps of images with heaps of contrast, and then some will have that faded look, and it just stands out like really bad, so you want to keep an eye on that. But yeah, definitely start with that tone curve. If you're editing from scratch. Yeah, how long have we been going for? I think I might just see if you guys have any more questions, and yeah, it's Monday. I don't usually do a lot on Mondays. Monday's kind of my chill out day. This weekend I had 3 weddings. So I had one on Friday, and then one on Saturday, and then I had one on. Oh no, I didn't. Sorry, no, I had. Oh yeah, no, I did. God, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I had a wedding Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Saturday was like a 5-hour drive. So I'm usually pretty tired by Monday. So Monday I'll just chill out at home, go to the cafe, have some quiet time, do some editing, go for a ride on my motorbike or something. But you need a day to have a break. If you're going to do this full time, you need to have like one day off to kind of just chill out and zone out. So I wouldn't usually be doing this today. Like I'd fire it off on Tuesday and then edit through the week. But yeah, any questions anybody has about anything before I sign off? I should say I really appreciate everybody following along. I'm at like 17,000 something subscribers now, which is pretty crazy, really. I mean, it's not a lot, but I didn't think I would get anywhere near there. So I appreciate all the support, and yeah, definitely appreciate you guys buying the presets. Like, it just allows me to, with the YouTube income and selling the presets, I can take more time to do YouTube videos. I don't have to kind of worry so much. Like when I was, because my partner doesn't really work a lot, and I have all the kids to feed, so all my money is coming from photography. So obviously I'm going to prioritize that over anything else. So it just makes it easier to make stuff for you guys, really. But yeah, I think I'll probably sign off. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. We didn't have a lot of people, but you guys that signed on, appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.